How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of single cut up of this piece in the form of Dean Mahogany Pale Ale. Yeah. Quite a bit of a departure from what you typically see as label-wise when it comes to single cut. Typically, their labels are just the all-white variety, a little bit of different stuff going on. To see a full-colored labels, I don't know, kind of weird. I don't think it's a collab or anything. But the other part of this that is weird is, it says a crisp, clean, wide mouth glass. That's what you should be drinking out of. It's a 5.6% pale ale. And on the bottom, it actually has a Best By date on it. I think this is the first single cut beer I've seen with a Best By date on it. The Best By date is December of 2020. We are, okay, that's dark. I mean, it's called Dean's Mahogany Pale Ale, and it definitely looks mahogany. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I did not expect that to come out like that. So, yeah, that's the can looks like. I actually dig the can art. And as far as the beer goes, I mean, that's dark. When you talk about pale ale, that is not pale by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, listen, you know, it almost looks the exact color as this mountain. There's pine trees on it. The word mahogany is in it. I'm assuming this is on purpose, and that's how we're going to treat it. And yeah, because with the Best By date, we don't know. I don't know how old this is. I'm assuming this is 6 months old, so I assume this is kind of hyper fresh, and that it's December 10th. This is the 23rd of June, so that would put 6 months there. It could be older than that. I don't know. That's the problem with Best By dates. Anyway, yeah. What does she look like? She looks like almost like a brown ale more than anything else. Definitely a rich malty color, just off-white head. Not a big kind of dark head on it, but it has that kind of rich, piney, kind of West Coasty kind of vibes going on for it. So, yeah. Surprising to say the least so far. So, let's see if we can get a nose on it. That actually smells pretty nice. It smells like a soft, slightly piney, slightly resinous kind of pale ale. It smells like a West Coast pale ale is really what it smells like. I mean, it's giving me kind of those old school vibes. Giving me a little bit of kind of Sierra Nevada pale ale vibes, those kind of things. A little bit more rich, a little bit more kind of not as sharp, a little bit rounded in those kind of West Coasty vibes, but that's where it's kind of leaning. Yeah, soft piney characteristics, nice sweet, but not over the top maltiness. I'm digging what I'm smelling so far. Let's dive into this sucker. Cheers. That's delicious. Yeah. It's got this nice, slightly burnt brown sugar caramel malt thing going on. Very zippy. Very fresh. It doesn't come off as an older beer. If it is, kudos to them for making something that is this shelf stable. Because that malt tastes nice, crisp, clean. At the same time, having that nice, sweet kind of brown sugar, caramelized, kind of flambéed kind of thing going on with the sugar. There's zero oxidation going on whatsoever. The way the actual hops come off is West Coast leaning. You're definitely getting a piney resonance characteristic off of it that is driving the beer. So it's not so much a characteristic as the soul and heart of the beer. And while that it is a crisp and tasty and drinkable and chuggable and all those kind of words kind of beer, there's this nice soft creaminess to the mouthfeel too. So it's both clean yet has this kind of sultry mouthfeel to it. I like this. I think it's quite nice. It does remind me of a lot of the old school kind of West Coast IPAs, or pale ales I should say, with a twist. With that added softness in combination with how clean it drinks, it has this little dollop of East Coast in it. Not necessarily like an East Coast kind of juiciness or East Coast kind of haziness, just that kind of slightly water nerdy treatment that kind of brings this softness to it, rather than this ultra sharp cleanliness, even though it is a clean beer and it's crisp, but it has that added combination. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, like I'm saying crisp, but at the same time soft. It has both going on at the same time. I like this beer. I think this beer is tasty. I think it reminds me a lot of the beers. It has traits of a lot of beers I've had in the past, but being its own soul, if you will. That's tasty. Delicious. I'm a fan. Let's put it that way. It's basically, I mean, it's almost a West Coast IPA. Lacks that sharpness, lacks that ABV that you would typically expect from West Coast IPA, and lacks that kind of mouthfeel, that crystal kind of maltiness. Even though that sugar portion I showed there, that kind of sweetness, sugary portion that you expect from your West Coast IPAs there. It comes off a little bit softer, a little bit kind of, like I said, torched, flambéed, and just works out being a really kind of fun East Coast interpretation of what I grew up with when it comes to IPAs, which is your West Coast IPAs, like everybody else. So let's talk about this thing, man. Is it one of the better pale ales I've had as of late? Yeah. I mean, listen, I am East Coast through and through, and they're some of the better ones I've had, but this one's quite nice, and one of the better ones I've had. It's not going to be Mount Rushmore status, but at the same time, it's pretty damn good stuff. Value and availability, I paid $4 for a single can of this. So you're talking about a $16 price point, but that was a single can, so you're probably going to knock that down to a $14 price point. I mean, $14 for a West Coast pale ale of this ilk, pretty good. I mean, listen, I could pick myself up some Sierra Nevada, Torpedo, all the West Coasty kind of beers. I can pick those up for cheaper. Am I going to get a better beer than this? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but it's going to be a different beer. It's not going to have that kind of mouthfeel and that cool little twist on it, so I'm okay with the price point. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like old school West Coast IPAs in this new school world, this is going to do you all kinds of proper. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out through the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little West Coast jammer right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.